When comedians be like,
they were so fat that they're that standing sweat fat. Crisco was coming out of their pores like a fucking Play-Doh fun factory.
My sister's off the charts. I replaced her pepper spray with silly string. Anyway, that night she got raped.
Okay, I'm really offended. Not because I'm a fat person, but because you consider Nicole Arbor a comedian.
For a more complete story of the beaver, why not contact the Canadian Wildlife Service in Ottawa?
oh hi babes, let's talk about jokes. When I first started speaking up about rape jokes when I was in high school, a bunch of my friends were like, oh my god Laci, it's just a joke. It's just a joke.
Yeah, they thought, and probably rightly so, that you are incapable of understanding the difference between things that are real and things that are not real.
The it's a joke line was just a way to make me shut up when I criticized them.
No, it wasn't to get you to shut up. The phrase, it's just a joke, is designed to inform a person that they are taking a particular statement way more seriously than what was intended.
As Nicole Arbor learned last week, being cruel and then calling it humor doesn't make it any less cruel. A pile of shit with a bow on it is still a pile of shit.
This simply isn't true. You just have to look at all the successful incel comedians that traveled around the United States. It was often their job to take these sort of awkward social situations where someone is being insulted and cleverly turn it around so they get a bigger laugh.
God bless. There's a new thing called dress up.
Thank you.
I mean, we worry about the homeless, but you're a Jew derelict. I've always liked you better than the other guy.
Thank you.
I better not. Anyway, God bless you. Black or white, we're all working for the same cause. To find you work. Anyway, you're doing so great with it. God bless you. Dressed as a Jew in safari. Anyway, I've never met an ape. Anyway,
Never met him.
hallelujah! Get the black chick to back it up.
The most basic tenet of comedy is that it's supposed to make us laugh, right? A good joke can be clever, smart, uncomfortable, weird, biting, goofy, obnoxious, and yes, even offensive.
Whoa, hold up. You said that you objected to your friends telling rape jokes in high school, which I'd have to presume was because you found it offensive. However, now you say you think jokes can be offensive? You can't have your cake and eat it too, Laci.
Humor is a type of communication. All humor has an underlying message, and that message, whether or not we consciously process it, is the reason why we're laughing. Things like rape jokes, fat jokes, police brutality jokes that come at the victim's expense, that's a key.
No, not all offensive jokes come at a victim's expense, even if they represent the vile and seedy underbelly of today's society. For example, I was sitting at a park bench the other day and I was watching the children play. A mother comes up to me and says, "Which one is yours?" I reply, "I haven't decided yet." So, besides my audience who was subjected to that horrible delivery, who was the victim in this joke?
Normalize inequalities that already exist in the world. People with less power are seen as acceptable targets for cruelty. So when we laugh at someone suffering, we're participating in a broader cultural phenomenon where we don't take those injustices seriously.
Jokes do not always normalize inequality in today's society. Oftentimes, well actually most of the time, humor calls inequality to light and makes people aware of it.
So black people are very afraid of the police. That is a big part of our culture. No matter how rich you are, how old you are, we're just afraid of them. We got every reason to be afraid of them. You know what I mean? Like, you're a white lady. You ever been pulled over before? You know, and then what they say, let me see your driver's license and your registration, right? See, I'm just guessing. That's not what they say to us. Well, you wouldn't believe what they say to us. Spread your cheeks and lift your sack. Like, what the fuck?
But nothing should be off limits! classic comedians cry, I am an American and I have freedom of speech. I totally agree. See, I say all manner of offensive shit to the mainstream. I'm out here, y'all. Criticism doesn't mean that the subject matter is a problem. It's not necessarily the topic, it's the approach. If the approach isn't funny, then critics also have free speech to say what they think. Just like any other form of entertainment, comedy does not have some special sacred immunity to criticism.
The problem here is that comedy does in fact have this sort of shield, because by design, it's not supposed to be taken seriously. Can comedy be used to make certain points, to call attention to good and bad things? Absolutely. But if you're going to criticize comedy for its message, then you've really missed the point of comedy as a whole.
While Daniel Tosh might think that rape is absolutely hilarious, many of us come to comedy to have a good time, not to be reminded that other people see us as less than human.
Yeah, I saw that at the front of your video and I was wondering, it seemed a really odd delivery, and then I noticed it was all cut up. Maybe we should watch the whole clip and see if he really meant that.
People have always told me I have a sick sense of humor. What do you say to that? I assume it's relative. Who are you comparing me to? Carrot Top? Then yeah, I'm a little blue. To my circle of friends, I'm tame. My sister's off the charts. I play practical jokes on her constantly, though. I got her so good a few weeks ago. I replaced her pepper spray with silly string. Anyway, that night, she got raped. And she called me the next day going, "You son of a bitch! You got me so good." No. As soon as I started spraying him in the face, I'm like, "Daniel! This is gonna really hurt."
So now we see the whole clip, we understand that he was talking about his sense of humor, and the sense of humor of people around him, most notably his sister, and he used rape as an exaggeration to show how twisted his sister was. It's not about rape being acceptable or seeing people as less than human. Laci, I know you think you have an important message, but how about you stop with the dishonesty?
This bigger comedy debate isn't about constitutional rights, which are robust. Well, generally robust. It's about what's morally right, which is not as robust. What we choose to say and do with our platforms, with the stage, with the mic, with the YouTube channel, with the Twitter account, with the TV show, that speaks volumes about our character.
Yes it does. I couldn't have put it better myself. Your actions on your YouTube video demonstrates that you are willing to lie and misrepresent things to further your own narrative.
We can punch up at abuses of power, or we can continue to punch at those who are already down. So how do you know which direction something's punching? It's pretty simple. Just ask, who finds this funny?
That's right. We shouldn't be evaluating comedy on its content. We should be identifying the marginalized group in every single joke and seeing if 51% of that population is okay with it or laughs at it. That's how you comedy.
Jokes by no means need to be universal, but who's in the group that's laughing? Are abusers, date rapists, the KKK, high school bullies laughing with me? Who is being validated by the message that I'm communicating?
And what happens if the majority of KKK members laugh at a joke and the majority of black people laugh at a joke where they're identified as marginalized? Does that somehow create some sort of joke paradox?
I want to end by saying that it is okay to tell an off-color joke. We're all learning. I've told messed up jokes, you told messed up jokes, we're all idiot humans. I don't think we need to handle this by burning people at the stake. That's so 1500s.
Notice how she frames off-color jokes as something that's wrong, saying that people are still learning, and that we really shouldn't harshly punish people who make these off-color jokes. But there is a reason why offensive comedy exists, and I'll leave it to one of the world's funniest men to explain why this is the case.
So what's going on here? I think I can explain it. When we started to show Fish Called Wanda, you know, the test screenings to audiences, we used to ask the audiences to fill out what we call an evaluation card. And they would be asked, what do you think of the music? Did you like the ending? And one of the questions was, what are the 3 funniest scenes in the movie for you? And when we added up the votes, we found the funniest scene was killing the dog. The second funniest was Michael with the chips up his nose. And the third was me dancing around naked speaking Russian. Then at the back it said, what were the 3 most offensive scenes for you in the movie? And the 3 were killing the dogs, Michael with the chips up his nose, and me dancing. So what is going on here? Well, I think when you get into taboo areas, that is areas like dead bodies or limbs coming off or anything sexual, there's always a little bit of anxiety because it is taboo, you see. But for some people, just a few, there's a lot of anxiety. So when the subject is raised, they kind of freeze up and they feel very uncomfortable and they hate it, and they hate the fact that people around them are laughing so much, and they say, I've been offended. However, most people just have a little bit of anxiety. So what happens if you make them laugh? You get an even bigger laugh than you do normally, because you get the normal laugh, and then you get the extra energy that comes from that little bit of anxiety being liberated. So you get huge laughs when you deal with taboo subjects. And that's one reason why my humor has a pretty black quality to it some of the time.
Thanks again for watching. If you liked the video, please share, comment, or subscribe. Have a good one.